The go-getters. Got Mike here,
Got Allison.
and we're about to discuss a hot topic. The world has been thrown in a loop regarding the whole Jenni Hermoso and the president. We're going to put it in quotations. President Rubiales.
It's my president.
I know. So basically, long story short, I think that in order to get a bigger picture of the entire scenario, we're going to have to go down through a timeline. But let's give credit where credit is due, because at the end of the day, we're talking about a Spain World Cup winning team. They won the World Cup. They won the World Cup. I mean, come on, are you kidding me? Like,
man, it took Spain, the men's team, to get this started.
How long? How long?
And then the women come out of nowhere.
So we can't undermine this little estrellita, because it's extremely hard to get, and we should be celebrating and praising this team in reality for the next 4 years, because it's their trophy. But unfortunately, like I said, the whole world has been taken for a loop because it's being overshadowed by the scandal, the quote unquote situation with Rubiales. To help us out today, we also have a guest appearance. We got somebody by the name of Stephanie in Spain. Let's see if we can get her on stream right now.
Hi.
There she is. Hello, Steph. Welcome to the stream.
All right, guys, live from Spain right now. Okay.
And she's out there. She's going to be able to give us a bigger picture in terms of what the feels are in Spain. Because, like I said, over here, think about this. I saw this news on CNN. Yeah. I saw this news on Fox Sports. So it's like, I don't know. That's intense. But are they covering everything? I don't know. So what we're going to do today is we're going to break down a little timeline of events, because a lot did happen. And the problem is, if you don't really see the entire story, you can't really be objective, right? What that means is, if you only hear 2 details, 3 details, and you only see one video, maybe you feel some type of way, and that's probably not how you should feel. So I think
that the media has an agenda as well. So we can't just, turn on CNN or Fox News or, and believe whatever they say. So
exactly.
we're gonna dig in deep and show both sides,
Exactly. So let's start off by saying, number one, like I said, obviously Spain won. Kudos to them. Remember, they were underrated to go into this tournament. Before the tournament started, as MGM had England
as the
favorites. Close. USA and Spain were up there, second and third favorites, but England was the favorites. All right. So let's actually talk about the drama. Where does the drama actually begin? The drama begins, we've all seen the video, right? It's gone throughout the entire world. Rubiales celebrating with Jenni Hermoso. Okay? Maybe it's euphoric, maybe it's not. We're going to drop a link down below in the description so you can see the video for yourselves. What happens? He grabs her by the face, gives her a kiss right on the lips. Doesn't look too intense. It does look fishy. It looks fishy. But is it intense? We don't know. So, but that's what happens. That's where the eyes begin.
I think it's a bit much.
It is a bit much,
especially was out of line. I think so.
Especially if you think about that being the boss, right?
Yes.
So that's
yeah.
But people are saying that it was the heat of the moment.
Right.
He was very excited. But
which we got to give a little bit of leeway. I'm not there. If I were to win a World Cup, who knows? I'm not saying it's okay.
Would he kiss a man though?
He has never kissed a guy ever.
I don't think so. I think
right. So we can't give him a pass.
So we can't really give him a pass there.
Right. So let's continue. Immediately after that, like I said, we made note of it, but it wasn't really a big deal yet. We were just like, ew, that was kind of cringe. Whatever. It is what it is. Now we go on to Jenni Hermoso live on her Instagram live, where she's in the back celebrating with the squad. You hear her say, and we're going to drop a link below for that too. We hear her say, bueno, pero es que no me ha gustado, eh? Like, she wasn't really, it wasn't her thing,
Translating, she said, I didn't really like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Not her cup of tea.
But wait, after what she said after that, she was like, ¿Y qué hago? What do I do?
Right.
What do you do?
She's explaining it to her teammate. She's like,
exactly.
¿Y qué hago? Bueno. Right. So anyways, that alone is the first little instant that you realize, all right, Jenni wasn't really about that. And this is where the story develops because the next day it really just explodes into everything else. Obviously, Twitter ran with it. This is before even the United States news sites were picking it up. But what does Twitter do? Everybody's out there writing away, you know, so it picks up even more momentum.
It's called X now.
Oh, correct.
Oh yeah, word.
It's hard for me to keep up. Sorry, Elon. So where do we actually get crazy? Let's see. Oh, the next day, immediately the next day. Oh no, it wasn't even the next day. Pardon me. See, I want to make sure that we get the timeline correct. During that back room celebration, you see Rubiales come into the picture, and you hear him behind the scenes kind of make light of the situation and make a joke. Jenni, nos casamos.
Ibiza.
Like how it's jokes. We're gonna get married, right? Kind of like downplaying the situation.
Yeah, but her teammates start yelling, "Beso, beso."
No, that's not yet. That's not yet.
Not
This
yet?
is
That
still
was in the bus.
in the locker room.
Oh, in the locker, not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bus, not the bus.
Yeah, so in the locker room, I think Rubiales, maybe we'll see. Like I said, that did happen. He probably knew that he made a mistake, and his left hand people were like, "You got to control that." So he goes into the locker room, tries to mitigate the damage. That's what I saw it as.
Yeah.
We'll post a link to that too. What else does he do when when he goes back in the stands? I mean, I got to mention this one. I'm gonna post a screenshot to this too. Rubiales celebrating with everybody else, hitting people with the crotch grab. I'll be honest, that's never been a good look. You're excited or not, that's already another little check mark. That's like
So
you're a
the
president.
worst. Oh, sorry, go.
no,
No, go ahead, go ahead.
The worst for me was having literally our queen and princess having to witness that.
Right there,
Like,
right there. Like
that's
you're
huge.
the face of the operation, right? Just like you're any leader, you have
Like, would you do that next to the king? I doubt it.
right.
See, we gotta understand that these two are Spaniards, you know. So
So
to me, it sounds crazy to hear, in front of our queen.
in front of our king. Yeah, I mean, listen, even though it's just for show, the king and queen are just for show. It's still a respect thing, right? You're still fighting for the federation. The federation. Yeah. I mean, look at this. It's all there's a crown here. It's all based off. So let's keep it moving. So now what happens? Now we're gonna take it to the bus, right? We're going to the bus ride where we're gonna post this link, and it's very interesting information because remember, this is fresh after the World Cup win. Now they're journeying back home, and it seems like in the video, everybody's making light of the situation, right? They come out with a picture, a meme, and they show. They compare the meme. It was Iker Casillas with Carbonero. If you guys remember back in the day, where Iker grabs Shorty, gives him. Well, let's be honest. They were going out back then, right?
Yeah.
So it did look cringe for anybody that didn't know. Again, similar situation from the outside looking in. It looked pretty strange. Like, oh, why is Iker Casillas doing this to a reporter? But you find out that they're romantically involved. So no problem. There's no problem there, right? This situation is, I'm going to say a little different. It's a lot of different. So what happens here on this bus? They compare that meme to her actual kiss right now. They're all, she's blushing. Everybody's kind of making fun of it. Transition to the next scene, and all of the teammates are saying, like little school kids, beso, beso, beso. Like little school kids, Then Rubiales actually comes in,
and she's like smiling and laughing throughout this.
Yeah, I think it's.
You think it's like an uncomfortable laughter?
I think it's I think it's two things. We're gonna get to what we actually think, but what we see is that it's not strictly negative. It's a little bit more playful. They still themselves have the euphoria of winning. It's not really the end of the world. It's just a comment that's like, that's silly. Let me poke fun at it.
Yeah, it's a situation that happened.
Yeah, it just happened. It wasn't the end of the world. They weren't making it into a big situation, right? Now what happens? Like I said, Rubiales tries to mitigate the damages again. He says, this is embarrassing. But this, you guys got me. Like, can you guys please stop? This is like, I'm embarrassed right now. Well, okay, we'll get to that. You should have been embarrassed for other things, but we'll get to that. So now what happens? Let's see. Obviously, the next day comes. and he's getting hit with so much backlash already through the X space. Twitter. I say X and consider it Twitter. I'm sorry, it's such a weird name.
So dumb.
So he ends up going the next day and immediately issues, I'm going to put this in quotations, an apology. The reason I
Big
say that
quotations.
is because I'm also going to post this link below. An apology really isn't something that you say with the end of the sentence being, I'm sorry that people got offended. Because honestly, that just means I did what I did. And if you're upset by it, tough cookies. So that to me is not an apology.
Also, after before that apology, his main communication before of the situation was to call everybody dumb. It's like,
Right.
oh, how can you be so dumb? I don't want to. I don't want to deal with all these dumb things. We just won the World Cup. No sé qué, no sé cuánto. And it's just
Right.
like, what are you
I mean,
talking?
that's exactly right. He's the one that kind of painted it in this light. So it's like, it's kind of your fault. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So he comes out, like I said, with the next day with an apology. But what does he say? Um, I might have made a mistake, but again, I'm sorry to those who I offended. That ain't really an apology for me. So let's keep it going. Now this is where,
But he
Go ahead.
did also add like what he did was wrong. He did say that.
Yeah, but
was
he
like,
kept it so vague. I'll be honest. He kept it so vague. He said something like, "We all made mistakes, and maybe I crossed the line." As a matter of fact, in that sentence, he doesn't even say her name at all. He's like, "I get excited with a player."
Yeah, he didn't say her name.
He's being completely vague. It's just a little bit sus, but we'll keep it moving. Listen, the next day, this is where things start. They get blown out of proportion. So, Steph, you're going to be able to tell me a little bit that in Spanish society lately, there's been a big push for women's rights, and we can dive deep into what that means. But basically, they're trying to fight back the old school way of the patriarch ways, where a guy can do whatever he wants, and the woman just has to take it. So now enter Yolanda Diaz. Okay, so Yolanda Diaz, she's the deputy prime minister for Spain.
Wait.
Yeah,
Before any of that,
hit me.
the only reason why Yolanda Diaz is there now
Sure.
is because Irene Montero and all these people, they're the ones that did all of this jaleo.
Right.
Right now, Yolanda Diaz is not even part of what the current body of government there is now. She's in her own thing.
Oh wow. And that's what through the ministry.
So what we have now is PSOE.
Mm-hmm.
What she did in the elections is sumar. So the way I see it is that she used this shit to her benefit, basically.
Of course.
Right. So this is where we have to kind of see why people say certain things, right? You can't just take everything at face value, right? I can say whatever I want, but you should always be thinking, why does he think this way? Why does she feel this way, right? So it's just,
is it because they really care about what happened, or they just want to, gain power? There's a lot of people that want his position.
There's one thing that unfortunately there's a movement behind it, right? And just like any movement, some people ride on the coattails a little too heavy. And, of course we want women's rights and we want it to be as even as possible and we want forward progress.
But not to the extreme.
But this is what happens with any movement. There's going to be extremists that they push their agenda too much and they take, a small little piece of information and they blow it out of proportion in order to, like you said, benefit their agenda. Yeah. Right? So that's basically where she comes in, puts out her own statement. And this is where it gets intense because nobody else had said any of this before.
At least not the government.
She immediately goes and says, I expect Rubiales to step down for assaulting a woman. And then she continues to say, Spain is at the forefront of women's rights and an example on a global level. So let's break that down a little bit. Have they been in X amount of time? Probably not. But in the past 3 or so years, there's been a noticeable empowering movement, which, like I said, kudos. That's a step in the right direction. But this is an opportunity for her to drive, her agenda. And it's just that's what it is.
Like an opportunist.
Sure.
Exactly.
All right, so let's keep it going. I mean that's really the eye opener. Once somebody from out of the soccer world gets involved in a position of power and they make it this dramatic, now everybody's looking back at it like.
And they didn't even have to, because Spain, apart from the body of governments that we have, they have a body of government for these things in concreto.
Right, exactly.
Like, they didn't have to get involved at all.
Like, they have an internal department before you even get to FIFA. They have an internal department that makes sure that if there's any kind of aggression, that gets investigated immediately. So it's almost like they overstep boundaries. Well, maybe not overstep boundaries, but they were so eager to get into it that you kind of jumped the gun. So now what does that translate to? Now out of nowhere in the United States, maybe I saw the day of one news show say, "Oh, congratulations to the World Cup."
Yeah.
But now on the 25th of August, after that statement by Diaz, now CNN is playing, "Oh my God, Spain is in turmoil because of this drama." You know, just the eyes went from congratulations to purely negative. Purely negative. Somebody here is wrong. And that's why it's a divisive topic. That's why now everybody's involved, okay?
Yeah.
So let's see what happens now. Let's stay on it. So after Yolanda, we're at August 25th, right? 12 p.m. This was a busy day. Rubiales makes a press statement in front of the federation and all of his guys, everybody that's involved with the federation. And explains himself really quickly. I asked her briefly for a kiss, and she agreed. Un pico, y me dijo sí.
Un piquito. Sorry, un piquito.
Un piquito. That's what he says in the press conference in front of everybody. He's like, okay, well, Jenni hasn't said anything about it. I'm getting attacked. I have to defend myself, which, you know, from mitigating damages point of view, it makes perfect sense. What does he say? I asked her for a brief kiss, and she agreed. He later continues and says that through all this drama, I think that I'm getting attacked and I'm not going to be resigning. People are asking for my resignation and I'm not going to be resigning. That same day, when he says this statement, most of the federation, and you can see this in the video, I'll also post that below in the description, applauds him. Right? In a show of support.
It was like the patriarchy.
In a show of support, but very, very well said, because check this out. Again, you have to think, put yourself in these people's shoes that are clapping. Why are they clapping? They think, oh, shoot, if he's not going to resign, that's my boy.
I have to support
I got to rep for my boy. Clap it up, right?
Because if he stays in power,
he's going to protect me.
He's going to defend me when I need help.
Right.
You know?
So that's just we see it and we can connect those dots. Okay. I mean, it's just straight up. What else happens that day? After we witness the applause from all these people, Jenni finally goes and speaks something very simple through FootPro. And she doesn't give much information at all. And FootPro defends Jenni, and says, we're going to do anything possible to defend Jenni. Jenni doesn't even mention anything publicly till 7 p.m. after this whole Rubiales statement. And then she finally gets caught up in this mix. As you can see, she wasn't making any statements for days and days at a time. She should just
7 p.m. Spain time.
She should be of course, in Spain. She should be celebrating this. So she doesn't care about the drama right now. Now that she's getting attacked, talking about, oh, he asked me for a kiss, and I said yes. Okay, I got to come out with something. Go ahead.
Where there was a video that shows that
we're gonna get that. That video didn't come out till 3 or 4 days later. Yeah. So it's important that we hold that for that moment. So now Jenni finally comes out at 7 p.m. and she explains, in that situation, I felt vulnerable and a victim to his actions. She doesn't make it very dramatic, but she says that action I didn't sign up for, and I was a victim. You know,
there's this one thing that... Oh, sorry. Continue.
I received something that I didn't want, is basically what she's saying. Continue, stuff.
There was this one thing that she mentioned that later in the denuncia of the RFEF, that's what they held on to, was that...
is a claim, like a lawsuit, basically.
Yeah, basically. That was that he jumped on me and that I accepted it. But then later in the denuncia, the the thing says, oh, that she picked me up, and it's just like, okay, and that's where everybody held on to like think that she was wrong, basically.
So let's take it. Let's pause it right there. So Rubiales goes and he says separate detail, separate little piece of information, saying she actually grabbed me and picked me up, and what that translates to,
she gave me consent.
If everything is correct, it means that hey, we were kind of all on board with it together. We're gonna show the video that comes out afterwards, and you guys tell us. Feel free to leave us in the comments what you think, because I mean it's a very brief moment, and from my point of view, it looks like my man Rubiales picks up his legs on his own.
It looks like he just put himself onto her.
Yeah, so you guys can see that down below. You guys tell me what you think, and I would really love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. But like I said, 2 or 3 days pass before this other angle of a video comes out. So basically, at this point, it's he said, she said. It's one word versus the other. So this is now where it spins a little bit more out of control, because now everybody's saying they're against Jenni now. They're like, oh well, look, he said that he picked her up, so it's consensual. We're making a big fuss out of everything. Remember the bigger issue. The women's movement is trying to progress. So what that's doing is it's leaving a lot of divisive behavior behind. You have to almost agree with one or the other. And I'm sorry, but life isn't that black and white. There's a whole lot of gray. And if you don't understand the entire thing, you can't just be quick to react.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in the internet world, the X universe that we live in, everybody's really quick to type and react without really thinking and realizing that they're affecting people that are involved in this situation. Think about the unnecessary eyes that Jenni Hermoso is having because of this whole situation. Instead of
like
for the win.
For the win.
You know, so all right, let's keep it going. Let's see what else happens. Now on the 26th of August, the Spain Federation, provisionally suspends Rubiales so they can go to investigation. So let's see what they say. Miss Jennifer Hermoso. Oh, and then they actually, the Federation, even though they suspend them provisionally to do some investigation, in the same breath, they say Miss Jennifer Hermoso lies in every statement that she makes against the president, Rubiales. This is a very dramatic statement. Like I said, it's like they had to decide one or the other. And I don't think that's correct, because now you just make it way too divisive. And you could have had a conversation before it becomes a witch hunt, which we're going to get to. Let's see what else happens. After that statement, by the way, Jenni Hermoso lies in every statement that she makes versus Rubiales, was later taken down that same day.
Okay? And the denuncia.
By the Federation and the lawsuit. The claim to what she said being a lie.
By the new president.
Exactly. Obviously. So now, obviously, because of this now becoming even more dramatic, now Jenni gets support immediately from all her teammates, every woman that's a part of the Federation, and then some. It was more than 80 people that said, "We're with you, Jenni."
Yeah, okay? But these were the same women in the bus that were,
correct, and
we're making fun and say, "Oh, it's a kiss. They should get married," and they are
correct. And we're gonna come back and delve deeper on how we feel about that. But as of right now, they're standing in support with her teammate. Which I'll be honest, if it was you in a different situation, I'm gonna stand with my teammates always.
Even if they're wrong.
That show of support is a big deal. You only really experience that in a team. So we have to understand that whether they're right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. You have to show support for your teammates, because you've been doing all these things together for years and years and years. That's not just a job to them. They sleep with each other, they travel with each other. They have lifelong friendships. So I can understand defending, your people. Now let's see what happens. Now that there's actually a campaign of people saying that they refuse to play for the Federation until Rubiales gets taken out. Now, this is where you start seeing even more coverage in the United States. The CNN, they make it this whole dramatic show about Rubiales has to step down and the women feel this way, which that's pretty much the headline that hit all over the world. Without watching any videos, without really doing much.
Listen, so I've spoken to friends that seen those videos like on CNN,
Mhm.
and they automatically like, "Oh, he's such a pig. He's disgusting. He should leave."
Right.
But I told them, there are things going on in the background.
Exactly.
CNN, like I said, especially in the United States, it's all agenda.
Sure.
CNN is showing something. They don't care about.
Look, at the end of the day, they're all doing it for views too.
Yeah,
you
they're doing
know.
it for
So
views, so
the reason it got to them is because they were actually late to the show, and they're like, okay, everybody's talking about it. Let's talk about it too. You know that the Western world really doesn't care about Spanish soccer in general, let alone
football.
Let alone
it's
women's soccer.
it's
Oh,
in the
sorry.
blood. All right, so let's see. Let's keep it going. Let's see what else we got after this. Now more women decide to step down until Rubiales is forced out. Now even men start representing for Jenny. We got El Panda, Borja Iglesias, the forward for Betis, who plays in La Liga, says something similar. He goes, I refuse to play for the Spanish national team until Rubiales steps down.
Ooh.
In support.
I got a question though. Is he does he get called up for the Spain?
He got called up this year.
Is it for the first time?
It's important.
You want to hear something fucking hysterical about that shit though?
What's up?
Luis de la Fuente yesterday decided to say, "Oh, that's fine that Borja Iglesias could do that. It's not like he was in my plans anyways."
Luis de la Fuente being the Spanish men's national coach.
Exactly. I was just like, "Yo, what the fuck, bro?"
You called him up though.
Yeah, and he was the one that called him up to top of the love.
Now, because like I said, you have to pick one or the other, right? So everybody has to, it's nasty. It's getting dirtier and dirtier.
It's a whisper now.
What's his name again? The one that spoke?
De la Fuente.
The one that the teammate.
Borja Iglesias.
Okay, so he gets called up for the first time, and then he stands up for her.
Right.
That means a lot because
that's impressive.
Now he's putting his spot in jeopardy.
Exactly.
So
that's a big deal.
Yeah,
it's my first time to play with Spain, and he shows in full support. So again, I don't know if it's right or wrong because it makes it more dramatic, but I have respect for that.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're repping for your squad. Now this is where it gets a little bit more spicy. You thought it would stop, but no.
I wish.
So now we're gonna show you the video link down below for the new video that emerges with Jenny briefly lifting up Rubiales in excitement right before the kiss. Remember the original saying that, oh, can I give you a kiss? Oh, she picked me up? Okay, well, out of nowhere, 3 days later, video is shown by a fan just recording on his phone.
And that's the video I mentioned earlier.
And that's the video. You're going to see this right here. And you guys, please let me know. Did she lift him in excitement or did my guy just let himself get picked up like a baby? Like literally.
I think he got picked up like a baby.
I mean, that's what I think. You guys, please feel free to drop it down in the comments. So now we're up to August 28th. Okay, this is like now a weird one. He's getting attacked from all ends, Rubiales, and now the mom gets involved, and she goes on a hunger strike in a church.
That's crazy.
So now, obviously, there's a lot more commotion around that.
That's some old school Spaniards.
I mean, it's like they're trying to protect. I guess some kind of progress. I don't know.
Like the whole family came out. Like they made a whole Salvame shit out of this thing. Like, what's your equivalent to Salvame? Like Jerry Springer or like Maury? Like it was crazy. Like there was like just a bunch of cameras and like the cousin came out, the godmother came out, and they were all saying, no, she's not gonna leave until Jenny comes out and say it. Jenny, you have to come out and say that you lied. And it was like, yo, relax.
And this, listen, I'll be honest too. Who's doing this? His mom. You don't think that his mom is gonna do everything possible to make sure that his son isn't being dragged through the mud, whether it's real or not?
That's not dramatic, though.
It is. It's absolutely. It's too dramatic. It has no place for that. But she probably felt that if I don't do this, nobody else is going to defend my son.
Yeah, but imagine like turning on, like looking at newspaper, turning the TV on.
That's all she sees.
And all you see is your son getting like,
Atrevillado.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think hunger strike is the answer, but. It's a mother.
It just puts the eyes in a different way. That's all it does.
It shows you how it's affecting his family.
Bro, she pulled a Gandhi. That's crazy.
So now I know, right? So now we make it to this month finally. We're in September. Let me see what we got here. Luis de la Fuente, when letting Spain know what players he's going to take over the break, finally denounces in his own way what Rubiales has done. saying, given the repercussions of my applause, I have received harsh criticism. So I apologize for those actions. Again, is that an apology?
No, because he's
You know,
apologizing for
I
applauding.
I applauded this guy, and the situation is different now, and I'm getting yelled at for applauding. So my bad.
Yeah, because he saw that. He thought when he was giving that speech and he saw everybody applauding, he thought like,
No,
okay,
we're all
got
good.
this. We
Yeah,
got
like
this.
we're all
But
good.
now that he sees that Rubiales might be losing the war,
Right.
he's like, you know what?
He's like, let me switch it up a little
Switch
bit.
it up, and
And
Beaver
slowly,
did the same thing.
What's
The coach of the girls did the same exact thing. The day after, they were just like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
yeah.
¿De qué me vale ahora? I don't need that now. Nobody wants that now.
right, that's Jorge Villa, the women's coach you're talking
Yeah.
about. So now let's see what happens. So now Rubiales is losing a lot of steam because now within his own federation, people are having to go, denounce him, not even because they want to, but because the general public is saying, hey, now we don't like you because of this. So again, it's a cop out, straight up, it's a cop out. Rubiales then comes out. Remember, this is September 1st now. This has been going on for what, a week and a half already since then. Rubiales doubles down yet again. He offers another, within quotes, apology, stating that what he did was consensual and it was not an aggression or discomfort. He sticks to his version of events, which is fine. He's gonna make his bed and just sleep in it and die in it. He's not changing his ways. But now people have to make a decision. Do we ride with you or do we ride with her? Guess what happens? Snowball effect. All the territorial reps in Spain, they're all divided by the provinces. Anybody in the RFF, they all start condemning him and saying, I don't agree with his actions. Slowly, every single one by one, says, I don't agree with it and Rubiales needs to be out. Now, this is where the TAD announces that Rubiales' actions were not very serious. And okay, so the TAD, let's go to the TAD. So that's the Tribunal Administrative of the, well, in Spanish, Tribunal Administrativo de Deportes. So this is the legal governing body. When anything dramatic that happens that's negative, before it goes to the courts, before it goes to FIFA, they have their own tribunal to decide one of two things.
So they should make a.
Yeah, they already have this all in place. They have rules for it, and they have like a stat sheet. If you do this, this is what's wrong with it. This is, they have it already in play. So what do? They decide, okay, let's analyze this situation. So TAD announces that from the things that he did, there's types of categories. They're either very serious and offensive, or they're just serious, meaning that it wasn't a good look, but it's not enough for you to get completely, executed at this level. So that's where we're at right now, unfortunately, because what happens? Two of the four what's it called?
Lawsuits.
Lawsuits. Two of the four lawsuits are already out the window. They stand no ground. So it went from all of this smoke, all of this show, to the TAD deciding, all right, there's 2 counts of aggression, but minor aggression, not enough for it to be this. And that's where we're at right now. That's literally where we're at. What happened yesterday, actually?
What I would like to know is how the hell, like, what did they need for it to be muy grave? Like, did she need to get violated right there?
Yeah, we would have to look at the breakdown of what they consider. I'm sure that
very serious.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't even want to say certain words because then we're just gonna get banned anyway. But the serious ones are the ones that we know. But they decided that this one wasn't on that level. It was wrong, slap on the wrist. But let's see what happens.
And this is still ongoing, right? They still haven't
come
to a decision.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's still 2 more. There's still FIFA's that is probably going to go faster than
they do their own investigation.
I think FIFA bans them.
No, they won't do it. They're not going to get involved. I think personally.
You think they're going to say leave it to the Spaniards to
Yeah, I think so.
Well, the Fiscalia is the other one, which is, the actual government.
Right. Like,
but for that to go through, Jenni needs to have a testimony.
So where does the Spain government lean right now? Is it like left or to the right?
Lately, it's been more leftist, which is why you're seeing the progression. You're seeing a lot of changes. You're seeing a lot of women's rights. There's been a constant drift towards being more leftist. I mean, that's just what it is.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Most likely he's gonna lose that battle there because, like I said, it's a snowball effect, and they have a lot of people behind them. You know, and it's
just so you could put it into the way it would be like in America. So PSOE and Podemos would be left, and Pepe and like Vox. There's like 18 more, but we don't count them. They don't really count. They count as escaños, but that would be like points. Okay. But the way that the elections would work is for one political party to win, they would have to have 50% or more. If they don't get that 50% or more, they have to go with another political party.
Gotcha.
So the way it worked this year, or the last 4 years, was...
Wait, let me just pause you real quick. Keep that thought. So it's not like a two-party system like we have here. Here, you're either going to be a Republican or a Democrat. Over there, they have a few different ones, and if you don't win at least 50%...
They have a lot. They have too many.
Okay, got it.
So there's no two-party system.
So right now it's more to the left.
Definitely.
So that means Rubiales and...
So it would be like right now, well, I guess Podemos doesn't exist anymore. But like the guy that was
the movement, right? What was Podemos?
A political party.
Oh, okay.
So when they won, what they decided to do was basically make a new ministry. Ministerio would be ministry, yeah. So they made it of igualdad, and what would you of equality? What would you think equality would be? You know, women and men, right?
Sure.
Nope.
No.
They made it so that, for example, with this law that they just passed, well, just passed, it was like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Basically, what happens is, if, for example, I'm upset with my boyfriend, I want to get back at him. Yeah. I could go to the police, say he did something to me, and he goes away.
And this is because they recently changed the rules where they make it a lot easier for a woman to have a claim. So compared to before, where, hey, my husband beat me, and, you know, you report that to the cops, there's no paperwork, they're not doing anything. So now they changed it. Like I said, there's forward progression, but almost too much to the point that...
Yeah, like that wasn't the way.
Yeah, she can lie, and they're still going to, for sure, probably keep them in bookings for the day until they figure out if it's true or not.
Yeah, like they have to do the whole investigation and stuff.
This is a really big news.
It's because
it's political. They're politicizing.
Absolutely.
Politicize everything. So now, you know, we can understand what's going on in Spain.
Yeah, that's the reason why I didn't agree with it. That's the reason why, like, I'm upset that the whole situation happened, obviously. The way that the government did
they handled it.
What they did was the wrong way to go, because you didn't see like Pepe go all and say, you know, they shouldn't have done this. This man has to get fired. No sé qué, no sé cuánto. Nah, Seijo, shut up. He didn't say a damn thing.
Well, look, so that brings us now to pretty much up to date, I would say, right, Steph?
Yep. Like, there was no noticias today, so.
Right. So that gives us basically as big as a picture that we know. And I'm sure I've missed maybe one or two details. Like I said, please follow in the description below. Watch all these videos so you can have your own opinion. Because the most important...
I can tell you one thing that you missed.
What's that? Hit me.
The plane thing.
What happened with the plane?
So after the bus, they were getting onto the plane to come to Madrid and come home, whatever.
Yeah.
In the plane, Rubiales and like the people behind him, the administration, were trying to convince Jenni to make a comunicado, like a statement. What?
To change her statement, right?
No, to make a statement. She wasn't going to say anything.
I see. You're right.
Yeah, this was in the plane. She didn't say a damn thing. The only thing that came out at that point was the Instagram video of, hey,
so
no me gusta.
Like, hey, come out with something. Like,
what's the source?
Yeah, so the Rubiales was like, yo, please, well, I'm supposing, yo, please come out and say that this was whatever. And she was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Yes. And then the administration put a comunicado, the statement for her.
Oh, for her, on her behalf.
her. No, not on her account.
No, that's wild. That's wild.
They
The
want
the RFEF, I have to get used to saying it in English,
Right.
came out to say that she said tal comment.
Right, and she
And it was just like, okay.
That had nothing to do with any of that.
See, this is where it gets.
That's crazy.
This is where I get upset. Like, they want to push this agenda so bad
that they're lying about it.
They're lying about it. That's like she didn't even make a statement yet. They're already making a statement for her
because she didn't even want to do anything. Like, I swear, if I was her, I wouldn't have let this go like this. I would have just, denounced it in the moment and moved on with my life.
So good. So now we get into to our point of view and our opinions. Okay, so let's actually
let's start with her.
Yeah.
What does she think?
What do you want
to get the woman perspective?
Correct. What do you think?
I mean, right off the bat, that shouldn't have never happened. Like, fuck the whole situation of it being a man and a woman. Fuck that whole situation. It's you're a boss. Facts. Kissing a fucking employee.
Facts.
And that's
anywhere else that's a lawsuit.
Realize.
Anywhere else that's a lawsuit.
Yeah. If my boss kissed me, it's a lawsuit.
Even sexual harassment. Even if he says every day, "Hey, you look good in those shorts," that's a lawsuit, bro. Yeah. Let alone physical. You're right. So based off of that, there's no place for that. Correct.
And it makes no sense that to top it all off, that it's like people. I've heard so much bullshit of, she should have automatically just said that she should have denounced it automatically. That she's doing this shit for money. It's just like,
so dramatic.
Yo, when I heard that, I was just like, what? Yo, she just won the World Cup. She just got money. Like, what are we talking about?
So let me ask you this, Steph. I'm gonna put a tricky question out there. Do you think that there was a way that she could have finessed it, like what to make everybody happy? Let's just, if we could go back in time to make everybody happy, what should she have done? Forget all the Rubiales, we know that he fucked up already. What should Jenni have done
at the moment, like that had happened?
Sure, or just in general within that first day or two. What do you think? Or did she do everything perfectly fine?
Nah, she should have said something in the moment. Because honestly, yo, you have a phone, man. Like you went through Twitter. You saw what was going on.
X.
Right.
Oh, sorry, it's X. And so it's like it was definitely not new news to her.
Right.
But I guess she tried to minimize it. And honestly, if I was her, I would want to celebrate my Mundial, man.
I think I agree with you, Steph. I think it's okay. I don't think she did anything wrong because her.
No, of course not.
Her priority mentality was, this shit just happened. It didn't kill me. It's not the end of the world. Pasó. We're going to make light of the situation because you know what? We won. And I want to enjoy the moment. I want to celebrate. So they kind of just in passing. That's why we go flashback to the video where they're like school kids. Beso, beso. I think that's an interesting. I think that was real. Like that moment was real because they knew it was, cringy, but it wasn't enough to.
They try to make light.
Kind of change the whole world about it. They still won. They're on the bus ride. Let's enjoy. They're drinking. You know what I'm saying? Let them enjoy. So I think that there's nothing even remotely wrong there. The problem now is when other people, outside sources, whether it's the governing bodies, whether it's Diaz, they get involved to the point of telling you what to think, telling you what to feel, telling you, oh, this is disgusting because of this. And look, I'll be honest, the reason we do this podcast, the reason we're on YouTube Live, is because we all have opinions. Sometimes they're wrong, sometimes they're incorrect, sometimes you just go based off of feeling, but that's what opinions are, okay? For somebody in a position of power to be telling people how to react, like, you should be upset because of this? No. Like, I'm not going to just listen to somebody with words. I'm going to do some research. I want to see it for myself. As a matter of fact, if I could talk to Jenni for 3 minutes, that would put this all behind me. Because hear from her. Oye, do you care about this? This is mad dramatic. I'm sorry that you're dealing with this. Fuck it, let's keep it moving. I'm sure that's how she would react.
You would have to go to Mexico for that.
Well, she got caught up in this whole mess. Once it becomes as big as it is, you can't avoid it. You're just caught up in it. So honestly, I feel horrible. I feel genuinely horrible for the entire Spanish national team
Me
because this
too.
has completely overshadowed their victory. And pobre Jenny, they were that. I don't know. She's a trooper for dealing with all of this. Honestly,
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
it's not easy dealing with the media in Spain. I can
what do
assure
you,
you on
I mean,
that.
I think what he did is wrong, absolutely wrong,
of course,
right? Not defending him, but I feel like if it really bothered her, she would have spoke up right away,
right?
right?
Like if it was actually like an
Yeah,
agresión, like if it
yeah.
was like
If she felt
he grabbed
violated,
my booty,
yeah. I
or
feel
like
like if it really bothered her, she like she said, she has a phone. She could connect to millions of people in an instant.
right,
She would have said, she would have spoke up.
right, right.
But I feel like like you said, they just won the World Cup.
It wasn't
They're
enough for her to worry
celebrating.
about.
She wasn't even thinking about it. She's happy.
Right.
I mean,
Both
in the first comunicado when she won the Mundial, she didn't say anything. She was like, "Oh, is everything because of emotion?"
She kept it moving.
she's celebrating.
Yo, and
Yeah,
She's celebrating.
that's kudos to her again, bro. She just kept it
exactly.
moving.
Without a doubt.
I think this means like we need to stop letting, like he said, people tell us how to feel.
Right.
Stop turning on that news outlet and let them tell you how to feel.
It becomes too easy to just whatever
Accept
you
it.
agree with, right? Whether it's politics, it's easy to cherry pick whatever benefits you. And it's very easy to, out of 100 marbles, I'm going to pick 40 of these that only have to deal with what I agree with. But how about the other 60? You can't really have an honest opinion, an objective opinion, if you're only listening to one side of the story. That's a big problem that we just have, not only in this country, just worldwide, because access to a lot of information, which is amazing, but we're all too lazy to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
We just read a stream and decide right then and there, do I agree or not?
Yeah.
And it's gonna ruin us, honestly.
And that's why with the Go Getters, our channel, we want to bring you that raw information.
Right.
See, this is why we got Steph from Spain to tell us how they feel in Spain.
Right.
What are the women are thinking there right now. This is why we have the Go Getters. We want to give you guys the raw information.
That's exactly what we're here for. So I mean, that's basically it. Unless you guys want to have any closing statements, I wanted to just make sure that.
Actually, I want to ask. Steph, do you think he should step down?
Oh hell yeah! I've been wanting a new president since he came in.
Yeah, but you want him to step down for other reasons, right? Not because of just this instance.
For me, fue la gota que colmó el vaso.
Gosh,
what is your
president? And this was like, you know what? Get out of here.
This was the English.
Mind you, if like this situation all could have been avoided if Casillas would have stayed in the elections and fucking won.
Right, I know. And funny enough, Casillas was one of the first to be like, "Oye, y esa dimisión que."
Yo, word.
Casillas was like, "Oh, when is the president stepping down?"
Damn. Casillas will benefit from this, right?
He wants to be the president.
He would still have to go through the elections.
Madrista, I think Casillas, deserves it, man.
I mean, I would accept that without a doubt.
I'll take it.
I love Casillas.
I mean, listen, he's done a lot for us, and he was a part of this too. So
you guys wouldn't have that star without Casillas, man.
No.
And the Sandy can save us, that's without a doubt.
For sure. So like I said, I want to just any other closing thoughts? No. How about you, Steph? Any other last things before we wrap up?
I do want Rubiales gone. I want Tebas gone.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Tebas need to go.
We've been dealing with some headaches in general, and the patriarchy is still there. But
the new information of Negreira came out today, so we got enough bullshit to deal with this team.
Man, it's like a telenovela.
It's literally a telenovela. It's a real life telenovela.
Bruh, only if you knew. This is the whole year or the whole season for me. It was like that. If it wasn't Negreira, it was Valverde punching someone. It was no sé qué with the females. It was ridiculous.
I hope there's more drama. In Spain,
you don't have to hope it's gonna be there.
No, because this is gonna give us more content. You guys are gonna see more of the Go Getters.
Facts.
Yo, word. It's too bad that you guys didn't do this shit when Superliga came out. We could have had episodes.
Trust me. Next week we got a whole.
We got content. We're gonna talk about Perez. seeing the future, and he knew that the Saudis were coming. And
yeah,
we're gonna touch that subject.
Next week we're gonna dive deep on.
I know you love Barcelona and you hate Perez, but he is.
No, hold on. I think that he knows how to do business, but I do have a grudge on him.
Right, he's a businessman.
Listen, but he's trying to keep La Liga strong.
Right.
Listen, if you see the numbers, La Liga is like fourth or fifth in money. There's like 4 other leagues that are bringing in way more money.
We'll get there. If you guys are a part of this, like I said, tune in. Yeah, I hear you. So if you guys want to tune in next week, because we're gonna dive really deep into just the state of affairs when it comes to money, the EPL, the MLS, and the Saudi leagues, in terms of just how the money's moving and what the future is gonna look like. So that should be it for now. Steph, I want to give you a big thank you. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you guys.
You gave us a lot of insight that we wouldn't have got otherwise. And thank you for being just a part of it from a woman's perspective and from just a Spain perspective in general.
Campeonas, campeonas.
Ole, ole, ole.
It's grammatically wrong, but okay.
I know, dramatic. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so that's gonna be it. Like I said, thanks again, Steph, and everybody. Feel free to check out on the description below for all the links, all the videos. Make your own decision, and make sure you give us a heads up. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, let us know.
And also, tune in tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Well, we might be on a little earlier. Arsenal and Man United, we're gonna have a live watch party, with our reaction. So, tune in tomorrow.
Tune in tomorrow. Thanks again, guys.
Bye.
Ciao.